Go ahead.
This is your 240 Q&A time writing at 240 words per minute. Your proper names are Diane, Japan, Mrs. Jones, General Motors, Mr. Jordan, Prince Way, Sheridan Street, Fort Lauderdale, Everglades, Florida, Milwaukee, Orlando. Exhibit 1, Pam Jones, Pam, and Exhibit 4.
Great. Okay.
Ready? Isn't it a fact that you and Diane's mother, your wife, agreed that Diane owned at least half of the house and that's why she was put on the deed?
She was put on the deed because her mother had a phobia about lawyers. Her mother had quite a substantial amount of money coming in from Japan that her brothers-in-law managed to take away.
As a matter of fact, the amount of money was excess of, I think, $3 million, was it not?
False, very false.
How much money did the mother have coming in from Japan?
Less than that.
How much less than $1 million?
It was only several $100,000.
How much?
I really can't tell you that.
At some point in time, did you become aware of the amount of money that Mrs. Jones had coming in from Japan?
No, we never did find out what the total amount was.
What happened with that money?
It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with this case.
What happened to that money?
I really don't care.
Did it go into your...
The bottom line of that whole thing is it was our money and we decided what to do with it. We combined that money with our retirement savings to buy this house, so that would give you some idea of how much it was.
Well, the point is that I'm asking you how much it was.
Well, I can't tell you.
How many times have you received several $100,000s from Japan in your life? How many times?
One time, that was it.
What kind of business were you in during your work life? What did you do for a living?
My wife?
You.
Me, my life, I was an engineer for General Motors.
How many times did you receive a six-figure amount of money either from General Motors or anyone else in your life?
That was the only money we actually received from anybody for free, so to speak.
Do you remember the amount or the approximate amount that her mother received from Japan as part of her mother's estate?
I don't remember the exact amount, no.
Do you remember, was it under $1 million?
It was under $1 million or right around near that somehow, you know.
What happened to the other personal effects that her mother owned that Diane has claimed over the years?
What happened to them?
Yes.
She has no claim over any of her personal effects. Her mother requested in her will that I give her jewelry, which she got, and that's the only thing she has any claim on.
Did Diane also tell you that her mother also intended her to have other personal effects?
Nope, never mentioned it.
Never? Diane didn't tell you that?
No, never.
Was this the basis of your falling out with your daughter?
No.
What happened between you and your daughter that she had a falling out with you?
She wouldn't sell. When she did not keep the agreement to put the property on the market, that was the falling out.
Mr. Jordan had asked you some questions. I'm going to go back over some of those questions and ask them a little differently. As far as seeing the house, when was the last time you've been at the residence? 38 Prince Way.
When I took my boat.
When was that?
Like I said, I'm bad with dates.
Was it a couple of years ago?
Yes, I think it was.
So you have not been at 38 Sheridan Street at all?
No.
How long have you been down as far as this time?
I've been down a couple days now.
You haven't gone by the house?
No, I haven't been near. My wife got a thing going and she didn't know Fort Lauderdale and she got a place way out in the Everglades.
Did you rent a car?
Yes.
Do you have any curiosity as to what the house looks like?
Of course.
So you've been in Florida for 2 days and you haven't gone there?
No, I was in Orlando. The airplane flew direct from Milwaukee to Orlando. It stopped in Orlando and we came yesterday to Fort Lauderdale.
With regard to Exhibit 1, the settlement statement that reflects when you and Pam Jones purchased this house, was that done with Pam's money or yours?
Our combined money.
Was the bulk of that money from her estate in Japan?
It could have been, you know.
Was there any way that you could know whether or not it was?
No, we had joint accounts.
This is the deed, I guess, you actually closed on this about November 8, 1996 for the record, correct?
I guess so.
Then in or about on April 10, 1998, you conveyed half interest to Diane, you and your wife, Pam. Do you recall that?
That is right.
What are the circumstances that led you to conveying half interest to Diane?
For some strange reason, not all of it strange, is the fact that my former wife, her mother, got cheated out of a fortune in Japan. Now, she had this phobia about lawyers and wills. Since she had a will, she was afraid that somebody could break that will if we died.
So because of that reason, you gave Diane a living interest of half the house, is that correct? And then on September 10?
No, it was only 1/3 interest.
Well, rather than argue, I will point the pleading acknowledged a half interest.
I mean, there were 3 of us then.
But I'm not going to argue the law with you. And the will that is marked as Exhibit 4 apparently was dated in 1992. September 10, 1992.
September 10, 1992.
At that time, do you know whether or not there were any subsequent wills?
This was it.
In this will, if anything happened to you and to Pam, then Diane was going to be the trustee of the estate and wind up with everything, basically.
As far as I know, I think that we had a friend of ours that was going to do that.
Now, you testified earlier that she had real estate experience. What kind of real estate experience did Diane have?
We sent her to school here in Florida.
What school?
I don't know what school, some real estate.
To get a real estate license?
Yes.
Did she ever get her license?
According to her, yes.
Do you know whether or not she ever got her license?
I never saw it.
Do you know whether or not she ever worked in real estate?
She must have worked in it a little bit because she showed me a name card. I can vaguely remember a name card.
Business card or name card?
It said some real estate office with her name on it.
Do you know whether or not she actively ever worked selling real estate?
I'm pretty sure I can answer that as no, because she seemed to have all kinds of excuses as
This is your first Q&A time writing at 225 words per minute. Your proper names are Mr. Fox, David Fox, South Umbrella Court, Tiffany Dawn Fox, Michael David Fox, David, Tiffany, Camille Renee Fox, Camille, Barbara Sophia Fox, Union Memorial High School, Union High School, St. John's Hospital, James O'Connell, St. Francis, Parkside, Florida, Laureate, is that right, Laureate?
Mm-hmm.
South Yale, 61st, 71st, Laureate Psychiatric Hospital, and Medford. Ready? Mr. Fox, give me your full name, please.
David Fox.
Address.
1910 South Umbrella Court.
Driver's license number.
432-94-8243.
Mr. Fox, are you presently married?
Yes.
Any children of that marriage?
Yes.
How many?
1.
What is the name of that child?
Tiffany Dawn Fox.
Were you previously married?
Yes.
I assume that marriage ended in divorce?
Yes.
Were there any children of that marriage?
Yes.
How many?
1.
What was the name of that child?
Michael David Fox.
How old is David?
18.
How old is Tiffany?
11.
Any other marriages?
No.
Do you have any stepchildren?
Yes.
Could you give me their names, please?
I assume you mean adopted?
Adopted or?
Camille Renee Fox is adopted.
When was Camille adopted?
Shortly after we married, maybe 15 years ago. I can't remember the exact date.
What is your wife's name?
Barbara Sophia Fox.
When were you married?
About 15 years ago.
And how old is Camille?
She's 19.
Where did she go to school? We'll start with high school.
She graduated from Memorial. Most of her high school was at Union.
Where did she live while she went to Memorial High School?
I don't know.
What about Union High School?
She lived at our house most of the time that she was at Union.
At what age did she leave your house?
I guess she was 17. It was during her senior year.
Do you know where she lived during her senior year?
She lived with us part of her senior year and she moved out.
Did she have a place of her own?
I don't know. I really don't know where she lived.
Did you have any contacts with her during her senior year in high school?
As I say, she lived at our house for a lot of it, but some of it in the period while she was at Memorial, she did not live at our house, and she did call periodically and talk to us, but we didn't know her address or anything like that.
Did you know any person she was living with?
I think she was living with a friend. I don't know the name or any details.
Was the friend male or female?
Female.
Was she also a school classmate?
I don't believe so.
I think when we were in the courthouse about a month ago or so, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, you said you had seen her the previous Saturday.
That's correct.
Where had you seen her?
The previous Saturday?
Yes, sir.
When I saw her, she was at the hospital.
What was the occasion or why?
She was ill.
What is her illness?
She's mentally ill.
Does it have anything to do with drugs?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I really don't know, and the doctors don't know. And everything the doctors and we have read, no one knows what causes mental illness.
Has her illness been diagnosed?
That's difficult for me to say because some doctors have said one thing and the other doctors have said something different. And I guess, technically, yes, I guess it has. I don't know.
What do they tell you the diagnosis is?
Well, the doctor she has now says it's schizophrenia.
Which hospital is she in?
St. John's.
Is she presently a patient there?
Yes.
How long has she been a patient at St. John's?
She's been at St. John's for about 3 weeks.
And she's presently at St. John's Hospital?
That's correct.
Who is her attending physician?
James O'Connell.
What year did she graduate from high school?
89. I think that's right.
From 1989, where has she lived?
Pardon me?
Where has she lived since she graduated from high school in 1989?
Several different places. Some we know about, some we don't. Some of that time since 1989, she's lived at our house.
Tell me the time that she's lived at your house.
It's really difficult for me to say exact dates.
Let me see if I can help some. She graduated probably in May of 1989. Is that pretty close to being correct?
Yes.
In May of 1989, where did she live?
She was back at our house. When she graduated, she had come back to our house.
Did she live at your house in June of 89?
Yes.
July of 89?
I'm not trying to be evasive. I am just trying to rekindle my memory. She lived there in June. She lived there through the summer.
Through the summer?
Yes, sir.
So it would have been through August, September.
Yes.
Then where did she move to?
She didn't move out technically. She went into the hospital in October of 89.
What was her illness?
Mental illness.
How long was she in the hospital?
In various hospitals, 6 weeks.
You say various hospitals. Could you give me the names of them?
St. Francis and Parkside.
After she was released, approximately 6 weeks, where did she reside then?
After her release, she came back to our house.
And how long did she stay there?
This would have been December of 89. December, she moved back to our house after she was discharged, and she was there until, again, I can't remember the exact date. It was March or April of 1990.
So from December of 1989 to approximately March or April of 1990?
Right.
In March or April of 1990, where did she move?
She moved to Florida.
Do you know who she stayed with there?
No, I don't.
How long was she in Florida?
Until May.
May of 1990?
Yes.
Where was her whereabouts then?
When she came back to Florida, she came back to our house.
In May of 1990?
Yes.
How long did she stay at your house?
Until October of 90.
Where did she move to then?
She went into the hospital.
Which hospital?
St. Francis.
How long was she in the hospital?
Approximately a week in St. Francis.
And where did she go?
Laureate.
Where is Laureate?
It's on South Yale between 61st and 71st. Laureate Psychiatric Hospital.
How long was she at Laureate?
About a week.
So we are now into the latter part of October 1990?
Yeah, either late October or early November. I can't exactly remember the time frame.
After she left Laureate, where was her next residence?
Parkside.
Here in Medford?
Yes.
How long was she at Parkside?
Roughly a week.
So now we are getting close to December of 19. Okay, this is your second Q&A time writing at 225 words per minute. Your proper names are Ms. Jones, Peter Drew, State Farm, Peggy Barker, Iowa Street, Maria Joshua, Mortimer Jones, Franklin Kenner, New Orleans, Cliff Rodriguez, State of Louisiana, Central High, Louisiana, Southern University, Baton Rouge, Dr. Brent, Dr. Martin, Charity, Dr. Simon, Goodwood, Women's Hospital, Dr. Benson, Cedar Lake, and Mazda. Is that the right spelling? I think it's supposed to be an E.
Oh, an E, yes.
Yeah, so, because
I'll
I
fix
think
it.
you uploaded in the thing.
Yes. Let me mark it so that I fix it.
Okay. Ready? Ms. Jones, my name is Peter Drew. I represent State Farm and Peggy Barker with reference to this lawsuit that has been filed. I'm simply going to ask you some background information. The most important item I want you to understand is if you don't follow what I'm asking, let me know.
Okay.
If there's any confusion about what I'm asking or I ask something poorly and you don't understand it or whatever the circumstance may be, any questions about it, let me know right now, okay?
Okay.
Your address is 233 Iowa Street?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
It has been about a year now.
Who do you reside there with?
My 2 children.
What are their names?
Maria is my daughter. My son's name is Joshua.
Are you married?
I am divorced.
Who's your ex-husband?
Mortimer Jones.
He does not reside at that address, correct?
No, he doesn't.
Your 2 children, do any of them attend school?
Yes.
Where do they attend school?
Maria, she goes to Franklin.
That's located in Kenner?
No, it's located in New Orleans.
It's in New Orleans?
Yes, it is. That is correct.
You take her to school every day?
Yes, I do.
What about the younger child?
I engage a babysitter.
The babysitting takes place at the Kenner residence?
At her home, yes, in Kenner.
Other than this accident that we're here for today, any other ones that you've been involved in as either a passenger or as a driver?
No.
As far as claims are concerned, you've not had an occasion to file a bodily injury claim for any reason?
No, I have not.
For your children or on behalf of your children, any other than this one?
No, none.
Where do you work now?
Cliff Rodriguez.
How long have you worked there?
A little over a year.
What is your position?
I'm a legal assistant.
As a legal assistant, what are some of your duties?
I'm a secretary. I do secretarial chores, answer phones, handle clients.
You've done this here for a year?
Yes, I have.
That has always been the same job duty?
Yes.
Before that, where did you work?
I was with the state of Louisiana.
What department did you work for?
The Department of Wildlife and Fisheries.
What did you do for them?
I was secretary to the Division of Law Enforcement.
How long did you work for them?
I don't remember. Maybe a year and a half. I don't remember.
Prior to that, where did you work?
I was with the Office of State Parks. It was still with the state of Louisiana.
Was that also secretarial type functions?
Yes, I was a secretary too.
Education-wise, where did you go to high school?
I went to Central High.
Where is that?
That is in Louisiana.
Any more school beyond high school?
Yes.
Where was that?
I attended Southern University in Baton Rouge.
How many semesters or years?
I went for 4 years.
You graduated from there?
No, I didn't.
You pursued a degree in what?
I have no degree.
You pursued one in what field?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It was in mechanical engineering.
Your doctor, who is that?
Dr. Brent.
Where is he located?
He was in Baton Rouge.
When was the last time you had occasion to see him for an examination of any description?
It was for the birth of my son.
That was 16 months ago?
That is correct, yes.
Who is your primary physician in Louisiana?
I don't have one.
Your children's physicians, who are they, if more than one?
What is his name? I forgot his name. I believe it is Dr. Martin.
Have they ever had a reason to be examined by a doctor in the New Orleans metro area for a reason other than this accident?
Yes, I had to take them both to Charity, rush them to Charity.
What was that for?
My daughter smashed her hand in the door and my son had a real high fever and ear infection.
Those were the only 2 times that they had been?
That's correct, yes.
Other than Charity, no other medical clinics or caregivers of any sort that your children have been treated by?
Well, my daughter went to Dr. Simon for this accident.
That's the only private doctor that you're aware of that she has ever seen?
Yes.
The doctor in Baton Rouge, where is he located?
Oh, I don't know the address.
Do you have any idea of the part of town?
Off of Goodwood. It's right behind Women's Hospital.
He's a children's doctor.
Yes, he is.
Your daughter's doctor, that was him?
That was him.
Your son's doctor, that was also him?
No, I don't recall his name. It's been a while.
Is it in the Kenner area?
No, he goes to Charity.
Now, within the last 2 years, have you ever been treated by a doctor, private doctor,
Yes, I have.
other than Dr. Simon?
Dr. Benson.
That's it, though.
That is right, yes.
Is that right?
And I forgot the doctor I was seeing. I forgot his name. It was a specialist since I had problems with my pregnancy. I forgot his name, but he's at Women's Hospital.
All right. It was for what type of problem?
Well, before my son was born, they found a spot on one of his kidneys through the sonogram.
How long have you been residing at the Iowa location?
For a little over a year now.
Before that, where did you reside?
I was residing in Baton Rouge. I forgot the address.
Do you remember the street at all?
Cedar Lake.
When did you discontinue going to Southern in Baton Rouge?
Approximately 99.
The accident that we're here for today, do you remember what day of the week it was?
No, I don't.
Do you remember if it was a work day as opposed to a weekend?
It was a work day.
Your work days fall between Monday and Friday?
Yes, they certainly do.
Do you remember what period of the day it happened?
It was about 7:30.
Who was in the automobile with you when the accident happened?
My daughter was beside me.
What type of automobile were you operating?
A 1993 Mazda.
Do you own that automobile?
Yes, I do.
Anybody else in the vehicle other than your daughter?
No,
Was it a 2-door automobile or 4?
it was 4.
You left the Iowa Street location with your daughter, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Tell me the path that you would travel from Iowa Street to where the accident happened.
It would be north. No, Iowa cannot light south. Is that in there? I don't see it.
Is it this one?
There's an Iowa Street.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Iowa
Oh, right here,
Street.
Iowa Street.
Yeah, there's an Iowa Street, but then Iowa comes out by itself. I have to add that in there.
Do I end the file here?
Mhm.